The Vrethkai Empire had never lost a planetary subjugation campaign. Not once. Not in 400 years of expansion across 17 star systems. Their war beasts, the Gorak, were the reason why. The Gorak were engineered nightmares. 12 feet tall, armored in natural bone plate that deflected plasma at close range, possessing 6 limbs, each capable of tearing a reinforced bulkhead apart like wet paper. They were pack hunters. They were patient. They did not tire, did not fear, and did not stop. Fleet Commander Vethron stood on the observation deck of his flagship, the unyielding Dominion, and watched the drop pod streak toward the small blue-green world below. 100 Gorak. That was all he had sent. For a primitive world, one that had only just begun reaching toward its own moon, 100 was generous. Wasteful, even. His adjutant, Seath, clicked her secondary mandibles together in something resembling admiration. They will break within a standard cycle, Commander. Less, Vethron said. They always do. On the surface, in what the humans called Montana, a woman named Nora heard the sonic booms first. She stepped out onto the porch of her ranch house, coffee in hand, and squinted at the contrails cutting across the morning sky. Too many of them. Too fast. Too low. She went back inside and picked up her rifle. Nora had run cattle on this land for 20 years. She had pulled calves in blizzards, put down mountain lions with her bare hands once when a gun wasn't close enough, and once driven a truck 14 hours straight through a wildfire to save 40 head of Angus. She was not, by any reasonable definition, easily frightened. She called her neighbor. Kai, she said when he picked up. You seeing this? Seeing it, Kai said. His voice was flat and careful, the way it always got when something serious was happening. He'd come back from 3 tours overseas with that voice. Already grabbed the long guns. Coming your way. Bring everything, Nora said. The Vrethkai had done their biological survey of the humans. Bipedal. Soft. No natural armor. Average body mass, 60 to 90 kilograms. No claws, no venom, no echolocation, no enhanced musculature. Their military technology was noted but considered primitive, chemically propelled projectiles and what appeared to be early directed energy experiments. The survey had been thorough. It had not, however, been deep enough. It had not accounted for what humans did with soft bodies and chemical projectiles over 10,000 years of continuous warfare against each other and everything else that shared their planet. It had not accounted for what humans felt when something threatened their home. The first Gorak came through the tree line at the eastern edge of Nora's property at 7:14 in the morning. It moved like a landslide, purposeful, massive, impossible to ignore. Its bone plate gleamed white in the early light. Its 4 eyes swept the terrain with mechanical precision. It found 2 humans. One was a weathered woman standing in an open field with a rifle that, by Gorak's sensory classification, registered as a chemically propelled projectile launcher. Primitive. Negligible. The Gorak charged. The shot hit it in the right anterior eye cluster at 400 meters. The creature stumbled. The second shot hit the joint where the neck plate met the skull casing, a spot that, anatomically, existed because something had to, and was therefore, unavoidably, the weakest point. The Gorak fell. Nora cycled the bolt. Reload, she said, not because Kai needed telling, but because it helped to say things out loud when your hands needed to stay steady. Aboard the unyielding Dominion, the first telemetry losses began coming in 11 minutes after drop. Seath stared at her console. Commander, we are reading casualties. Vethron turned slowly. How many Gorak lost? 7. A pause. 9. Commander, the humans are coordinating. They are calling each other through primitive communication devices and sharing targeting information on the Gorak's weak points. They shouldn't know the weak points. They are finding them, Commander. Within 6 hours, the humans had done something the Vrethkai strategic models classified as statistically improbable. They had adapted. The first Gorak had been slow. The next wave had been faster, more aggressive. The humans had adapted to that too, pulling back, using terrain, luring the creatures into ravines and canyon passes where the bone plate was irrelevant because you couldn't turn properly in a 30-foot gap between rock walls. Kai had been the one to figure that out. He'd grown up hunting elk in terrain that would kill a careless person, and the Gorak moved, he'd noticed, like something that had never needed to worry about geography before. It expected open ground. It expected prey to run. They're not afraid of us, he told Nora, reloading behind a boulder. A Gorak screamed somewhere below them in the canyon, a sound like metal being torn apart. That's the problem. They're charging straight in. Good, Nora said. Yeah, Kai agreed. Good. By hour 18, the Vrethkai had lost 63 Gorak. By hour 30, 79. The remaining 21 had stopped advancing. This had never happened before. The Gorak did not stop. The Gorak did not retreat. They had no behavioral programming for it. But something older than programming was driving them now. Something even engineered apex predators couldn't fully override. Every creature, no matter how fearless, possessed one hardwired truth in its nervous system. Some things are more dangerous than you. The humans weren't running. The humans weren't hiding. The humans were hunting them back. Vethron read the final report 3 times before he accepted what it said. 91 Gorak confirmed destroyed. 9 retreated to holding positions and were refusing engagement. The humans had taken casualties. He read those numbers too, and felt something unfamiliar move through him. But the humans had also done something no species had ever done against a Gorak deployment. They had won. Not with superior technology. Not with numbers. With rifles and knowledge of their own land, and the absolute refusal to behave like prey. Pull them back, he said quietly. Seath stared at him. Commander, pull them back, he repeated, and open a full strategic review on this species. Everything. Their history. Their wars. How long they've been fighting. He turned back to the viewport, to the small, blue-green world hanging in the dark. I want to know what we almost started. The review came back 40 minutes later. Vethron read the summary of 10,000 years of continuous human warfare. The list of species they had hunted to extinction. The weapons they had built, dismantled, and built again, larger. The number of times they had nearly destroyed themselves and kept going anyway. He sat with that for a long time. Then he sent a message to the Vrethkai High Council, the first retreat recommendation in 400 years of empire. Do not touch this world again. These creatures are not prey. They have never been prey. Whatever evolutionary path produced them, it produced something that has spent 10,000 years becoming very, very good at war, and they are not done yet. We are not ready for this species. No one is. On the ground, as dawn broke over the second day, Nora and Kai sat on the tailgate of his truck. Neither spoke for a while. The sky was quiet. The drop pods had stopped falling. Think they'll come back? Kai asked. Nora looked at the horizon. Thought about the ranch. The cattle. The land her family had worked for 3 generations. Doesn't matter, she said. Kai nodded. He understood. They'd be ready either way. Somewhere in the Empire's long memory, a new notation was added to the catalog of species classified as existential risk, a category that, before this morning, had contained exactly 0 entries. It now contained 1. Species, human. Planet, Earth. Status, do not engage. Do not provoke. Do not mistake for prey. Threat classification, Apex.